Welcome back to DAYS Worldwide, Voice of the Fans. We are breaking down the explosive spoilers for the week of May Moit Moth to the Malanth, Hangin Lair Masar. And trust me, you are not ready for this. Let's kick things off with Monday, May Moit Moth, episode Chum Tam Born. We absolutely have to talk about Nicole first. The new spoilers reveal that Nicole confesses something incredibly shocking to Danny. Now, if you've been watching the timeline closely, you know exactly what this is about. Last week, Nicole was getting intimate with Carlton, who is an absolute gem of a guy, and took her go-karting to take her mind off her trauma, and she suddenly hallucinated that he was Ted. Can you believe it? She is having these intrusive, passionate fantasies about her toxic ex. I think this was a huge mistake on her part to even entertain these thoughts, but let's be real for a second. A lot of fans think Nicole still loves Ted, but I'm telling you it's definitely trauma bonding. Leslie blew up Nicole's life exactly 1 year ago at that club, and Nicole's psyche is completely fractured right now. Confessing this to Danny is a huge step because Danny is fiercely protective. But how is Danny going to react to her friends slipping back into this dangerous psychological territory? And speaking of that absolute disaster of a man, Ted is clashing with Leslie over Shanice. Amazing. Ted is actually trying to set boundaries with Leslie. I'll believe it when I see it. Ted has spent years acting as Leslie's enabler, defending her toxic behavior to everyone, including his own son, Martin. Now he's desperately trying to win over Shanice, but Shanice is way too smart for his games. She shut him down cold last week, and rightfully so. Ted sleeping with Leslie again and blaming it on the booze is a classic legacy character excuse that we saw play out a decade ago. He refuses to take true accountability. I am passionately defending Shanice here. She needs to run far away from Ted and his so-called crushing regret. Leslie is an unapologetic monster who was parading around the club in that giant hat, secretly instructing the staff to cut off Nicole's credit cards. She is petty, grandiose, and dangerous. Ted thinks he can just box her out. That's crazy. But here's the kicker for Monday. The underground plasma ring storyline is accelerating at a terrifying pace. Naomi is putting massive pressure on Jacob for information. Remember, Jacob is a dirty cop working undercover, and Naomi's husband Smitty is right in the thick of it. Naomi is fiercely protective of her family, and she knows something is terribly wrong. Meanwhile, Derek apologizes to Ashley. But is a simple apology going to save Ashley from the crosshairs? Ashley stubbornly lied to Leah last week, claiming she and Grayson broke up. She thought she was being strategic, but she unknowingly walked directly into the lion's den. Leah literally looked at Ashley and called her a loose end to tie up. I am literally screaming at my screen. Ashley is in so much danger. Moving on to Tuesday, May Moy Haith, episode Chum Tam Lam. And you won't believe what happens next. Joey confronts Smitty. This is the high-stakes confrontation we have been waiting for. Joey is a dangerous wild card, and he already had Randy watching Smitty's every move. Smitty is trying to balance his undercover work with practicing for the cotillion with Martin. It's a brilliant juxtaposition of high society elegance and gritty criminal underworld, a classic soap opera trope that the writers are nailing right now. But Joey stepping up to Smitty means the walls are closing in fast. If Joey figures out Smitty is investigating the plasma ring, it's game over. What do you guys think? Is Smitty going to blow his cover, or will he outsmart Joey? Also on Tuesday, Naomi's news directly impacts Ashley. This has to be about Grayson giving Leah's name to Jacob in exchange for immunity. Grayson is frantic, terrified, and desperate to protect his mom and Ashley. He ripped open his own stab wound just trying to survive the stress. When Naomi delivers this news, Ashley is going to finally realize the immense danger she is in. Meanwhile, Bill faces an incredibly unpleasant ghost from his past. Is this about the missing con woman, Lynette, or is the dark secret he shares with Vernon about Joey finally surfacing? Vernon vowed to protect Martin's Senate run by any means necessary, even striking a mafia-level loyalty pact with Bill. The generational secrets in this family are a legendary slow burn. And thank goodness, Nicole reconnects with Carlton. I am rooting for Carlton so hard. He is a stable, healthy choice Nicole desperately needs right now. Let's jump into Wednesday, May Moibath, episode Hai Chum Tamui Sao. Chelsea faces a massive crisis head-on, and the cavalry arrives. Danny, Kat, Bill, and Naomi all step up to help. I love seeing the community rally together, but we need to talk about Kat. Kat is playing amateur detective in her little Columbo trench coat, blatantly defying Bill's orders to drop the investigation. She is cocky, incorrigible, and completely unfazed by the danger. I love her spirit, but she is putting herself and Tomas's career in massive jeopardy. Smitty actually meets with Tomas to discuss Lynette. This means the police investigation is officially crossing streams with the law firm's internal panic. The web is tangling, guys, and it is glorious. And the drama doesn't stop there. Eva and Isaiah have a brutal show about her. They say things they can never take back. Listen to this. Ava is Leslie's daughter. She shares a deeply toxic bond with her mother, and we are seeing that generational trauma manifest in her romantic relationships. She is pushing people away and projecting superiority just like Leslie does. It breaks my heart, but at the same time, I have zero patience for anyone acting like Leslie. Elsewhere, Vanessa offers advice to a friend about her past. Vanessa has been digging into Joey's missing sister, Heather. Could this advice be related to that mystery? The layers to this show right now are absolutely stunning. Thursday, May Moiborth, episode Hai Chum Tamui Bai, brings even more heat to the screen. Anita and Vernon sit down to discuss their next steps with Dr. Bauer. Vernon is ruthless, calculating, and fiercely loyal to his bloodline. Whatever he is planning with Anita, you know it's going to be a masterclass in manipulation. Then we get a highly emotional scene where the Belleclaire family confronts Nicole and poor Samantha gets bullied. My heart aches for Samantha, and Nicole is already hanging by a thread psychologically, having to deal with a family confrontation while her mind is actively betraying her with fantasies of Ted. It's a recipe for a total psychological breakdown. Later on Thursday, Joey interferes directly with Vanessa. Joey is getting paranoid. He knows Vanessa is asking questions about Heather, and he wants to keep his past buried at all costs. Meanwhile, Donald is deeply moved by a surprise gesture. We love a little heartwarming moment amidst the chaos, don't we? But the real plot twist is Mona's words affecting Randy. Randy is Joey's hired gun, but is he starting to have a crisis of conscience? If Randy flips, Joey's entire criminal operation could crumble from the inside out. Finally, we reach Friday, May Mwelamth, episode Hai Chum Tamwe Tam. This is the cliffhanger we are all going to be talking about for weeks. Jacob and Smitty realize the plasma ring operation is coming to an end. The stakes have never been higher. Grayson is hit with a life or death deadline. That's crazy. Grayson already sacrificed his safety by naming Leah to get immunity. Now the employers are closing in. I am passionately defending Grayson here. He made terrible choices, but his love for Ashley is real, and he is trying to make things right. If they kill off Grayson, I am going to riot. At the hospital, Marcel finally interrogates Leah. Leah is ice-cold, calculating, and terrifyingly loyal to her employers. She isn't going to crack easily. She stared right at Ashley last week and basically signed her death warrant. Marcel better bring his A-game, because Leah is a master manipulator who does not care about human life. Across town, Ted is so desperate that he begs Monica for help with Shanice.